guys, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome once again to a brand new episode of Dramafied IPL this week, which is a weekly roundup of all the IPL 2020 happenings. And in today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the points table to see where exactly each of the 8 teams stand now that we're almost halfway through the tournament. So let's begin. Right at the bottom, at number 8, we have Kings 11 Punjab, KXIP, who seem to have been stuck at that position. There've been games where KXIP performed well, it seemed as if they were in control, it seemed as if they were going to win that game, but somewhere or the other, they managed to mess things up for themselves and end up losing. And when you lose so many games, you remain at the bottom of the points table. KXIP has played 7 games, they've won just a single game, they've lost 6 games, and they currently stand with just 2 points. What is wrong? What are the issues with the KXIP squad? Well, there are many. First up, KL Rahul, the captain of Kings 11 Punjab, seemed to be in a lot of pressure. He has the captaincy pressure, then he has the pressure to score runs for his team, then he has the pressure to make sure his team does well, and all this pressure that's mounting onto him is reflecting in his personal game. He's unable to do as well as we expect him to. He did play a couple of good games, he's played just one match-winning knock, but that's about it. Then we have the KXIP batting lineup, which just does not seem to be working. And we're not talking about 1 or 2 games here, we're talking about 6 games. They've lost those 6 games mostly because they were unable to bat as expected. And when you lose so many games just because your batters are unable to post a good total or they're unable to chase down a total which seems to be quite chaseable, then most definitely gives a loud and a clear message that your batting lineup, that your batters are not doing what they're required to do. And what adds on to the batting woes is the fact that Chris Gayle is currently down with food poisoning and has been unavailable for selection in the last couple of games. Another issue that I see with the KXIP side is the management, the kind of decisions they're making, as well as the coaching. Now, certain decisions are made by the entire team with everyone's consent, and you just cannot be blaming the captain for it. We've seen such questionable decisions being made by the KXIP side, be it the inclusion of some in the squad, the exclusion of some maybe, or even the batting order. The coaching staff, the think tank most definitely needs to put in that extra effort to ensure that the team does well, which we currently do not see happening. One positive, however, that I see in the KXIP side is the presence of some young, very talented bowlers, including the likes of Ravi Bishnoi and Arshdeep Singh. Both are very good with the ball, both are performing consistently for the team, and both are a treat to watch. Chances of KXIP making it to the playoffs? Next to none. Next up, at number 7, we have Rajasthan Royals, who were off to a brilliant start. They won the first 2 games, which were high-scoring games, and Rajasthan put up a great performance, announcing themselves in majestic style. But unfortunately, all that changed the minute they moved out of Sharjah to play at the other 2 venues of Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Their performance drastically dropped, and as a result, they lost the following 4 games. Their main concern is their middle order, and we've discussed this in our previous episodes also. If the top is unable to post good runs, if the top is unable to do well, the middle order gets under pressure, and under pressure it collapses, and that just does not help the team. Rajasthan's bowling looks to be quite good, it looks to be quite decent. They have the likes of Jofra Archer, who is absolutely brilliant with the ball, and they have Rahul Tewatia, who's also quite decent with it. Good news or great news for Rajasthan Royals fans is that Ben Stokes, who was in quarantine, is now out of his 6 days mandatory quarantine period and will be available for selection in the next game. Next up, at number 6, we have Chennai Super Kings, who've had a nightmarish IPL 2020 at least this far. They've had 7 outings till date, which means that already on the midway mark, they've lost 5 games, winning just 2. Not very often do we see CSK suffering so many defeats. Their issues? Again, many. But the most significant issue that I see with the CSK side is their batting. As a unit, as a team, they've been unable to bat with consistency, with the exception of maybe 1 game. and Suresh Raina's absence from the side is not helping them one bit. Their bowling seems to be quite decent and so does their fielding, but it's their batting moves that need to end soon, otherwise their chances of making it to the playoffs will be next to none. Now our top 5, and at number 5 we have Sunrisers Hyderabad. Sunrisers Hyderabad have been performing as a team, as a unit, and this is exactly what has been working in their favor. We see each of the players trying to make a significant contribution, trying to chip in, and when all your players try to do their best, the results go in your favor more often than not. Sunrisers Hyderabad have played 6 games, they've won 3 and lost 3. They have one of the best, the most explosive pairs in IPL 2020, that being of David Warner and Johnny Bairstow. Then they also have Kane Williamson. If you talk about their bowling, they have the likes of Rashid Khan, who is spearheading their bowling attack and is doing a great job at it. They do miss Bhuvneshwar Kumar, but they seem to be doing alright on the whole. Their middle order is a little bit of a cause of concern, but on the whole they're doing well. As a team, they're in good form, and I certainly see them making it to the playoffs. At number 4, we have Royal Challengers Bangalore, and the RCB fans are having a time of their life. Like CHK fans who are not really used to seeing their team lose so often, the RCB fans are accustomed to something totally opposite of it. They're not very used to seeing their team do so well. They're not very used to seeing their team win so many games, and now that the team is doing brilliantly, they're on cloud 9. RCB is also, as a team, as a unit, doing quite well. Everyone's doing their part. Their captain Virat Kohli is leading from the front. He's a hands-on captain. He's good with the bat, and they also have some really promising youngsters in their side, including the likes of Devdutt Patikal. He's also a treat to watch, and of course they also have Mr. 360 AB de Villiers to bail them out of any pressure situation. Their bowling is also quite good, quite balanced, and I don't really see any issue with this RCB side unless they flop as a unit, which I really hope they don't. And I most certainly see them into the playoffs at least. Let's move on and talk about position number 3 on the points table, which currently has been occupied by Kolkata Knight Riders. Mr. Shah Rukh Khan seems to have sprinkled his magic dust onto the team, and his presence in the ground most definitely brings extra luck for the team. Now KKR has played 6 games in total so far. They've lost just 2 and have won 4. Now that's what you call a good campaign, and if I may also add my 2 cents, I would say they've been very lucky. Why do I say so? There have been certain games where KKR really did not put their best foot forward. They had some issues, they made some bad decisions, some bad choices, but despite quite a few things not going their way, they ended up winning that game. And when you have luck as well as good performance clubbed together, you do get good results. Do I see them making it to the playoffs? I think I do. Moving on, currently on number 2 we have the Mumbai Indians, and Mumbai Indians don't really have a lot of luck going their way, but it's their hard work, their dedication, their performance as a team, as a unit, their individual performances, their management, their coaching, their think tank, the works. Everything seems to be working in their favor because of their own selves. They seem to be one sorted team. The captain Rohit Sharma is doing his bit both with the bat as well as being a good captain. Then they have the most valuable player of IPL, that's Kieron Pollard. Every time the team needs him, he steps up and he delivers. MI also has the Pandya brothers. They have young Ishan Kishan, they have Quinton de Kock, they have Surya Kumar Yadav. So they have a good combination. Even if you talk about their bowling, they have the likes of Jasprit Bumrah, they have Trent Bolt. So on the whole, as a unit, they're a very strong team. In fact, if you ask me for my opinion, I think they're the strongest in IPL 2020. At number 1, we have Delhi Capitals. Now, what an IPL campaign they've had this far. They've taken many by surprise. It's a young team. The captain, Shreyas Iyer, is quite young. He's quite brilliant, I would say. Then they have a lot of young Indian players who are making their presence felt. They're contributing. They're doing well for the team. They have the likes of Marcus Stoinis also in the team, Shimron Hetmeyer. If you talk about their bowling, they have Kagiso Rabada, who's been brilliant so far, and they also have R. Ashwin, who was man of the match in the last game. So overall, a very strong Delhi Capitals side, and most definitely I see them making it to the playoffs. Also, I do see them playing the final as well. With this, I come to the end of today's episode. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Please do join me again in another episode of Dramafied IPL this week. Look after yourself.